Lekker. Today we are out at BMW Motorrad Westrand, corner C of Swart and Denkers in Roodepoort, Helderkraan. And you guys are lending us the brand new 2023 S1000RR to go and have a jaw with today.
We are indeed.
And we'll see you in a couple of hours. We're going to have some fun.
You do that.
Okay.
So this is the first time I've ever ridden a motorcycle of this nature. I come from an adventure bike and naked bike background, but today I was invited and I'm so happy I was, because although terrifying, I can't believe the power, the sheer power that this has had. Somebody told me that this motorcycle is not even as quick as the Grand Prix bikes, but you could have fooled me. Just because of the sheer, the insane, obscene power. I would say these bikes you need to rate from 100 to 200. How fast does it get from 100 to 200? Because that's, you know, from 0 to 100 is literally a ridiculous thing. I asked if it was supercharged. The thing is though, I expected almost to feel unsafe and unstable, and it really wasn't the case. I felt the faster I went, the more the bike sort of hugged the road. It almost like pushed me down onto the road. So it wasn't like on an adventure, an off-road bike, when you throttle up, your front wheel becomes a bit looser, which is what you need for an off-road adventure bike. With this motorcycle, the front wheel became tighter. It almost felt like it got glued to the road, similar to like a Sky Electrics track with a magnet. The wind factor is also, it's actually very, very pleasant. The wind just goes straight over my head, and I feel, you almost feel like the bike is enticing you to go faster. I definitely see the appeal for these motorcycles and the demand for them. With all your mates on the weekend and you go for a ride and you want to go nice and quick. And the only thing I must say, I'm absolutely hopeless at turning this motorcycle around. Very unusual seating position for me, but what I can say is when I jumped on the bike, I felt like I became part of the motorcycle. I'm like in there hugging the tank. And cornering is just unbelievable. I mean, guys mentioned just tuck yourself in and you know, and just go into the corner. The bike will handle the rest. It literally does that. I mean, it feels almost like there's a berm on every single corner, and you just take it like that. So yeah, the appeal of this motorcycle, I can definitely see it. You know, maybe one day I'll get myself a super bike for giggles. Lunchtime. We just had a lekker lunch here at Makiti Family Restaurant. If you guys are in the area, come check it out. Fantastic food. Those peaches were divine. But for now, we'll see you guys on the road.
First impressions on the 2023 model. Sure, from the get-go, if you open the good old happy throttle button, it takes you from 0 to plenty in a split sec. Ridden the 2022 model last year, can tell you that this one feels a little bit stronger. Bit of an improvement on the quick shifter, brakes are phenomenal. Finding that the damping on slow speed is a little bit too slow for my liking, but it's tunable. So you could jump on it for a daily, get everywhere seriously quickly and go to the track and get your knee down quite comfortably with it. It lends itself to being very naughty on the street, so be mindful of that. Bike's got good ergonomics. I found the seat to be a little bit hard for my bony bum. The infotainment, if you could call it, that's quite simple once you get to learn the BMW way. The controls for the menus and the settings are pretty much standard across the range. So what's nice about this is you can set your lap timers on and click it all for a button, and you just poof. Only thing I do have a problem with is with my gloves on trying to get to the indicators, but being a BMW we don't use those, do we? It's quite planted. It feels like it's got great manners. It's up there with the best. What I've found, being of the shorter variety myself, the higher windscreen which comes standard on the S1000RR now, at cruising speed you don't get the wind in your face buffeting your helmet and letting the neck work extra. And I'm sure at the top speed, which we haven't quite done yet today, we'll see a good amount of air going over the back instead of into the forehead. So the 23 model also comes with winglets as a standard item, which our friends at BMW tell us that at higher speeds it can give you up to 30 kilograms downforce, which obviously helps for stability at high speed, which, as we know, we like to do on machines like these.
Okay, we've just got back from a day out on the new 2023 S1000RR from BMW, and can I tell you something? I'm no rock star racer, get your elbow down and get your knee down and stuff like that, but this motorcycle here surprised the heck out of me. The handling, I rode the last one last year around about Nampo. We rode it down to Nampo and back, so we did quite good mileage on it. And riding this bike and riding that bike, they're so similar yet so far apart, wouldn't you say, Shada?
It's a sharpened tool.
Like Shada says, it's a sharpened tool. We're coming back through the traffic now, and this thing turns like a housefly. So from what I understand, they've lengthened the swing arm slightly, a couple of mils or whatever, but they've also brought the rake in. So that gives a better straight lines and high speed stability, but also with the rake pulled in a little bit. What I noticed is it turns a heck of a lot quicker, and it also stops a lot quicker. The brakes look fairly similar to the last year's model, so chalk and cheese.
Yeah, that's now also going out a bit for the day. The brakes are phenomenal.
But at any point did I feel unsafe on this bike? And also I'm a tall guy, and I fitted on it perfectly. I got onto the bike. It's one of the first super bikes where I've ever got onto, where I actually got onto, I thought, well, I actually don't need to adjust anything. I can actually just get on and ride it.
Even look comfortable.
Oh, thanks. I look comfortable in everything. The other thing I noticed is, and the guys from BMW will probably correct me on this, but it's definitely a lot more torquey. I felt off the line is a heck of a lot quicker off the line. 199 kilogram bike with 209 horsepower coming out of it. That's a 1-to-1 power to weight ratio on this bike.
And that's out of the box.
And that's out of the box. That's without anything like aftermarket exhaust and stuff being fitted and made the bike a little bit lighter or whatever. So you can do things to make it lighter, make it faster. I don't know that you'd really want it to go a hell of a lot faster. The other thing I noticed also on the long road, so as a big guy who's not really a racer, I'm okay on the road. I'd say I'm a fairly good rider on the road. I haven't come across a bike that I've been this confident in and gave me this much confidence in my own riding ability, which is not great, that I could do things that I've never been able to consider doing on any other sports bike.
Makes it easy.
Yeah.
Makes it very easy.
Now, with your weight, Charlotte, what you like 12 kilograms and
a pocket of change.
yeah, 12 kilograms and a pocket of change with a bit of that. So Charlotte tips the scales at about 60 something kilos. So literally half my size, half my weight. And how did you find handling the bike in general?
It's perfect. Like you say, what you wanted to do, it does perfectly. I can't fault anything on, except maybe my bum's a bit bony for that seat. But
Yeah, I don't have that problem.
ergonomics are great. Once you're at speed, you're not on your wrists, and you can take it for a leisurely stroll.
Now you've raised an important point there. The bike comes out with a standard with this double bubble screen. You mentioned it earlier on, I think Garth mentioned it as well. At 2 meters tall, I'm not putting major stress on my wrists or on my lower back or my shoulders, and I've got a gammy left shoulder. And at well north of the double ton, I had absolutely no wind on me. And the fairing is actually so well designed that it just kept, I had no buffeting on my shoulders or on my pants. I had a little bit by my ankles and etc. But other than that, ergonomically, the rider triangle for a sports bike is surprisingly comfortable. So,
especially for a tall guy.
well, yeah. So if you're a big dude, tall dude, I want to say big, but a tall guy like me, carrying a little bit of extra kilos, I'm north of 50 years old, and I had an absolute jewel on this motorbike today. We went out through the Cradle and down the Satellite Road and a couple of other places, and we were hanging a little bit of cable and
Fantastic. Hanging wire, because there's no cables anymore.
we were pulling wire, not hanging cable. I understand why these bikes sell so well.
You just got to get on and ride it, and it will speak its own volume.
Yeah, it'll do its own thing. Lekker. Guys, you want a fantastic bike for daily commuting. I mean, we're commuting through traffic now. You want a great breakfast run bike. You want a weapon for the track. You want something that you can go do sports touring with. 365,000 rands where they start, all the way up to however much you want to spend at the end of the day. But as it stands here, 363,900 and some change, call it 365, and they'll chuck in your coffee and your sandwich for free. Lekker. Guys, get down to BMW West, and Jacques and the team at BMW West, thank you very much. We really appreciate the loan of the bike for today.